There are many lenses around us. We may sometimes think about choosing which lenses to shoot. Today we learn about essential camera lenses and their types. Prime lens, standard lens, telephoto lens, wide-angle lens. In addition, there is a lens adapter and lens filters. So, what is the lens? A lens is a tool that collects or diffuses light. The light reflected from the subject cannot form a clear image because of the spread of properties in different directions. Therefore, it is necessary to gather the light from each other oriented in different directions in order to form a sharp image. It is the camera lens that plays this role. Let's summarize the basic parts of the lens. Focal length. When parallel light passes through the convex lens, it is focused at a point on the optical axis. At this point, the point of convergence is the focal point of the lens, and the focal length is the distance from the center of the lens to the image sensor. Angle of view. This is the angle that expresses the shooting range within the camera screen. Image sensor. It is called the camera's eye and acts like a retina inside the eye. Light entering the eye is collected by the lens and creates an image on the retina. It is divided into CCD and CMOS, and it is a device that converts the light received through the camera lens into an electrical digital image signal. The larger the sensor size, the more light it can receive, resulting in better picture quality. Iris. It is a device that controls the amount of light passing through the lens. Tightening the aperture reduces the amount of light reaching the image sensor. And the more apertures you open, the greater the amount of light. The standard scale is f-stop. So what is the sweet spot? The best thing about it is the aperture. That the lens gives you maximum clarity. Typically, the sweet spot of the lens is 2 or 3 stops below the lens maximum aperture. The aperture setting for the overlap area is the sweet spot of the camera and lens being used. Conversely, if the depth is more important than the final, the higher the sharpness aperture, the better the sweet spot for the job. The optical axis of the lens. The optical axis of a lens is an imaginary straight line through the geometric center of the lens, connecting the two centers of curvature on the lens surface. It is also called the main axis of the lens. At the first, prime lens. What is a prime lens used for? Prime lenses are a not-so-secret weapon, favored for their fast apertures, crisp detail, and creamy bokeh. They differ from the more commercially popular zoom lenses. This is due to their ability to better maximize available light and separate foreground from a background with aesthetically pleasing crispness. Prime lens set, 24, 35, 50, 85, 135 mm. (24 to 70 mm standard zoom lens). It can obtain the angle of view closest to the human eye, and is a lens with a focal length of about 50 mm in general. This is the angle of view that can be achieved when the focal length of the lens and the diagonal length of the image size are approximately the same. (70 to 200 mm telephoto zoom lens). This lens is used when you want to see a distant subject up close with a long focal length of 85 mm or more. The angle of view is small. The feature is that there is almost no sense of perspective, because a part of the subject is enlarged so that the difference between the distant view and the near view cannot be clearly felt. (16 to 35 mm wide-angle zoom lens). This lens is used when you want to cover a large area of the scene. This is a short lens with a focal length of less than 35 mm and has a wide angle of view. It has a deep depth of field as it can contain both far and near view at the same time. But the perspective can be exaggerated. In addition, since the angle of view is wide, it expresses the movement of the object faster than it actually is. Lens adapter. In photography and videography, a lens adapter is a device that enables the use of camera and lens combinations from otherwise incompatible systems. The most simple lens adapter designs, passive lens adapters, provide a secure physical connection between the camera and the lens. What does the lens filter do? Filters minimize glare and reflections, enhance color, reduce light entering the lens, and more. Each lens filter has a specific purpose, because it is built to provide specific effects that can help enhance the final look of your image. UV filter, CPL filter, polarization filter, ND filter, gradient filter, soft filter. Today we have discussed the different types of camera lenses, many lenses, but it would require the practice to take good pictures by selecting the appropriate lens in my picture-taking environment. In the next video, I will show you some more informative aspects of photography.